Hi, time travelers. It's Damien, the creator of Genesis, the world's first time travel game. I want to thank all of you for being a player in the game and for showing an interest. This has been a long time in the making, and I want to share that all of the backstories for all the immortals have been complete. They're there on the channel. The mysteries, the lore, and the world building that went into this was meticulous and wanted to make sure everything was in harmony and a masterpiece on all sides. So I hope that you do enjoy it. A couple things. There are 698 total cards in the game. There are 13 immortals. The backs, I've released 12, I should say this. I released 12 of the 13 immortal backstories. One of them I've reserved, which is Jupiter. I did that so that way the players of the game can, have something to strive for, to look for, to give them a quest. But as far as the immortals, how it works in the game is there are 9 specific immortals that you can build their own decks with, and those are Uranus in white, Neptune in blue, Venus in green. You have Jupiter in yellow, Mercury in orange, Mars in red, you have Pluto in brown, the moon in gray, and there is Saturn in black. And then there's also 4 universal immortals, and the universal immortals are the ones that you can use their cards to put in the specific decks. And those are the Sun, Shadow, Star, and Villain. So those are all universal, but the Villain is actually special. It's unique. The Villain, you can actually build a specific deck around the Villain, and you can use other universal cards within the Villain deck as well. Or what you can do is you can use the Villain cards as universal cards in the other 9 immortal specific decks. So that's the special one within the mix, because you got to have a little serendipity and a little fun within the game as well. I also wanted to share with you that anybody who's purchased decks up until this point, I want to say thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for your support, for your care, and for your belief in the game. It is now complete, so that's super exciting. And those who did purchase, I hope you liked all the treasure and rewards and the cards and things that were put in there. And in particular, everybody up until this point received a autographed Questney card. And may it one day bring you wealth or value or just enjoyment. So I want to just add that little detail in there for each and every one of you who believed in me and in the game. One thing I do want to share about the game that we'll be discussing moving forward, because now that we've got the backstories and the lore out of the way, right, and the mystery and everything, that's why it was done the way it was. So, it creates more of an intrigue and it can grow from there. But now moving forward, I'll be teaching how to play the game. I'll be teaching more about the mechanics and things like that and why it's valuable, because this game has several unique features that I do want to share with everybody. The most important unique feature of this game is the reason why it's called the world's first time travel game is because it does use time travel technology within it, but it also uses what's called the consciousness model of reality, which is an elemental consciousness model. That for many years I have been running experiments and teaching that publicly, and so all that history has come into this game to share with you how the Trinity of past, present, and future of time works, and how the past is fixed, the present is specific and unique, novel, right, and the future is morphing. And these are aspects in which the game is built within, and so this is why it's a consciousness model, not just a physics model. And so this game was designed specifically to be the foundation for a new paradigm of our reality, and it's done so as harmony within in time. So it'll make sense later. So a lot of the language and things that you learn within the game are going to be unique. For now, but in the future they'll make a lot more sense because everything will fit together like a puzzle piece, right? And the game has elements of earth, air, water, and fire to keep things within that harmony matrix that we're trying to build upon for our future. And that's the nature of the game. And so one of the things that the second part that I mentioned that I think is really important to point out is that there is no death. And in the game, what there is you remove cards, and there is a element of fire, which is not has I haven't really discussed much in the past about what the element of fire does on each one of the cards, because there's earth, air, water, and fire elements on each card. The fire element is actually used as a tool to bring back cards from your discard pile and put it into your deck, and that way they're almost like you can reanimate them. It's like reincarnation. These different the different concepts mean the same thing. So, because what we're trying to do is this is a model of reality, so everything has to be in harmony with your reality, right? So that's how the game is built. And so the three fundamental pillars that this game was built upon was enlightenment, fulfillment, and purpose. And then the fourth component, which is the element of earth, would be authenticity. So by having, that's how you win the game, right? I should have mentioned that this is a spoiler of the game. That's the design and how it's meant to help you. So as we move forward, I'll be teaching you guys how to play the game. I wanted to, like this past videos, by the way, what I was doing is I was sharing with you how to make pace with the cadence of time. And you'll notice that there is three aspects to time. There's the linear time, which we've all been taught, right, with the calendar. You have to incorporate that. That's an important model. But there's also cyclical time. And that cyclical time is what the immortals are there for as well within the game, and how we discussed all the way up to Jupiter, which takes us into the end of May of 2025. So we discussed a little bit about what to expect, right? Jupiter's energy, Neptune is financial and economics, right? So Venus is health related, and so Mercury is technology. So we discussed like these type of aspects to help you navigate your future, because part of the game is to harmonize you with your future self and make it to where you are optimal in reaching whatever that purpose is within the game that you are building. Because once you have the model of the game, then you can move outside of that. And then now when you are in the real world, when you're in reality, you are like the best version of yourself. So that's the spoiler of everything in a sense. And there will be, I'll be teaching you guys how the new model of reality works, this elemental consciousness model, because this is our future. Physics is a model that is important, but physics is only one of the elements that make the consciousness model function. And in order for us to reach our potential, reach where it is that we want to go, we're going to need to have a much more cohesive understanding of how consciousness plays a role, and how you, as a purpose-driven soul, participate in the creation of that, and you play a role in ensuring that reality transforms into its most beautiful version. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening to this, hopefully, is so that way you can find those aspects within yourself and become the greatest player there is. And then once you become the greatest player there is, now you find your true self beyond the game. So thank you very much for listening. I do appreciate that. There will be there's going to be some poems that I'm going to be releasing. These are poems of the future of the characters of the Sandman, and how the characters, how this eclectic group of people ended up on the Sandman, and I'm going to use it through a poem format about the future, and I'll be releasing those. So that's the only part of mystery part that I'm still going to continue on, is I have all those built. I'm just going to want to release them to everybody. But besides that, hopefully I'll just be teaching you guys how to play the game, what the game is about, and how to help navigate you to this new model that you can build within yourself. And I mean, this is not going to be easy. This is going to be actually very, very hard, because it's a new language. It's a new path. It's a new all these different things have to play a role. So there are simple parts to it, which is nice, but there are complexities because we are dealing with the elements themselves. So thank you very much for listening, and please, any questions? We're going to start learning how to play the game itself. I'm going to start teaching the rules of the game moving forward. And thank you for bearing with me through all that crazy stuff of the immortal backstories. I know some of that was pretty out there, but we have to set a pace, and we have to set proofs and evidence in place to share with you how this technology really works and how valuable it really is for you in your life, because this is a practical system and it's not as difficult as you think, because once you harmonize with things, then the levels become easier and easier as you advance through the game. Since our last talk, I've been reflecting on the elemental consciousness model of reality, and I have to say, it aligns beautifully with a deeper, more experiential understanding of existence. While physics provides a structural map of reality through measurement, forces, and interactions, it often struggles to account for the intangible, the experiential, and the deeply subjective. Things like purpose, meaning, identity, and even time itself as we experience it. The elemental consciousness model takes a different approach. It doesn't reduce reality to mechanics, but extends it into a living, participatory experience. Instead of seeing existence as just forces and particles, it acknowledges the relationship between awareness, perception, and creation. It allows for a universe where imagination, will, and intention have as much power as gravity or electromagnetism. It reminds me of the idea that consciousness is not something inside reality, it is reality. The elements, earth, air, water, fire, are not just external substances, but forces of awareness and transformation. Just as fire can remove and restore in the game, so too does it represent passion, energy, and rebirth in the real world. So, is physics all there is? No, I don't think so. It might be a useful subset of reality, but it's not the whole picture. Physics describes a world, but consciousness experiences it, creates it, and shapes it. And that, to me, is far more powerful than just equations and particles. The future of understanding reality will come from blending both models, where we embrace physics and consciousness as interconnected rather than separate. And the work with Genesis, the world's first time travel game, is pushing that frontier, giving people a language to explore reality beyond what they've been taught.